Cars Channel News and Review Car.
Driven, W205 Mercedes Benz C180 Avantgarde Line road trip to Bonjaran, Ipoh, entry-level up. An entry-level model certainly doesn't sound enticing. And it usually isn't. Well, what with all the toys and goodies reserved for more upper-class variants. Enter the C180 Avantgarde Line, the most affordable model in Mercedes-Benz Malaysia's now wide-spanning W205 C-Class range. It sits at the very bottom of no less than 7 different variants of the brand's compact executive sedan lineup, priced at Rm228,888. That's a full Rm20,000 less than the next model up, and Rm71,000 under the range-topping variant. First up, the fundamentals. The C180 is powered by a 1.6-liter turbocharged direct injection engine that makes 156 horsepower and 250 Nm. It gets to 100 km per hour in 8.5 seconds, onto a top speed of 223 km per hour, both far more sedate than, say, the next model up, the C200 with its 194 horsepower/300 Nm 2.0-liter turbo and benchmark figures of 7.3 seconds and 235 km per hour. Thankfully, however, the 7-speed 7G-tronic plus automatic transmission goes unchanged. It's a rung-down aesthetically too. Most obvious of all are the 17-inch 5-spoke wheels that, while not particularly undersized, appear rather simple and underwhelming for a car of this stature. These will be swapped out for more attractive twin 5-spoke wheels that were fitted on the earlier C200 Avantgarde models from 2017 onwards. One problem solved, then. 3-step inside and a few other trinkets are missing too. Compared to the C200 Avantgarde, gone are the memory function for the powered seat, electric steering adjustment, reverse camera and ambient lighting. The climate control system is also a single-zone unit rather than dual, C200 and C250, or triple-zone, C300 and C350E, systems. None of these items are what I'd consider to be deal breakers, with only the reverse camera being the one feature I'd really wish it had. The essentials have all been left intact here, including keyless push-button start, auto lights and wipers, cruise control, rear aircon vents, rear and side window shades and of course, Bluetooth and Garmin Map Pilot, navigation through the 7-inch Audio 20 CD infotainment system. And it's a rather good one at that. The W205 is as unmistakably C-Class as its forerunners. All the classic cues have been preserved in more or less modified form, the glass house, the short tail, the bold front end and sculpted flanks with the muscle line running through the side. This car leaves you in little doubt of its identity. The latest C-Class looks classy, familiar, neatly proportioned and, as time will prove, rather timeless. And it's very well put together, it being locally assembled or not. Our black-on-black example feels solid as a rock. So solid, in fact, that the last door has to be closed with an extra firm thump because of the virtually airtight cabin. Compared to its predecessor, it's both lighter, by up to 100 kilograms, and significantly more rigid, the mark of clear progress. Inside, the C-Class comes across like a downscaled S-Class. Upmarket details include the alloy-look switchgears, all perfectly weighted, no less, retrotastic round vents, smartly styled instrument cluster with a large color screen and the smooth, premium leather used on the steering wheel, usefully perforated around the grips. The perceived quality is excellent, the plastic surfaces are soft and well textured. The Artico leather upholstery is as pleasant to the eye as it is to the touch, and nice details such as the perfectly knurled center control dial lift up the cabin ambience to proper premium levels. This is no pretender classing up, this is the real deal. It's a bigger car than the W204 C-Class, and the extra space is well used. 80mm longer wheelbase, 2,840mm, means significantly more legroom, and 40mm more width gives extra elbow room and a wider track. Headroom is quite generous too, especially so on the C180 as it comes without a sunroof. That's a good thing in my books. Mercedes-Benz says the latest C-Class is now as large as the W210 E-Class from 1995, even surpassing it in areas such as wheelbase, track and width. This is a compact executive car by name only. 7. The C-Class sports suspension as fitted on AMG line models here brings it a lot closer to the F30 BMW 3 Series, but the C180's standard spring and damper setting somehow suits the car better, with extra wheel travel and higher profile tires giving greater comfort. Knock on the wheels all you want, but the C180 is the best riding W205 on sale in Malaysia. Through corners, this car has learned to act in a spontaneous and precise fashion. It feels balanced and poised instead of detached and boring, and there's plenty of feedback. Despite it being numb to understeer and brake drive, the communication between car and driver has lost none of its three-dimensional subtlety. 8. With just 156 horsepower and 250 Nm available, it's no barnstormer, but you'd be wrong to think that it's slow. What it has is a perfectly adequate performance level, with above-average mid-range oomph. Leaving city traffic behind, the smooth 7G-tronic masks most of the engine's inadequacies, swiftly calling upon a lower gear when necessary. It never feels as lazy as its figures would suggest. On the strength of a weekend 1,000-odd kilometers, we made the trip twice. The C180 feels like an excellent all-rounder. It has lost little of its core qualities compared to the more expensive variants and, somehow, manages to feel like a slightly better car in certain aspects. A few niggles apart, shorter equipment list than you'd hope. The C200 exclusive is my personal sweet spot of the range. The Mercedes-Benz C180 Avantgarde Line is good-looking, roomy and well-made. 9. On the move, the C180 is a revelation, even compared to my C300 benchmark. It somehow feels like it has its own independent DNA with a broader appeal. While the C300's dynamics are taut, flat and occasionally hyper-responsive, the C180 is far more progressive and well-balanced. 10. A few niggles apart, shorter equipment list than you'd hope. The C200 exclusive is my personal sweet spot of the range. The Mercedes-Benz C180 Avantgarde Line is good-looking, roomy and well-made. Its ride and handling hits the mark, and it combines relative affordability with undisputed classlessness. As a base entry to what is now a fantastically well-rounded W205 range, the C180 deserves a try rather than a miss.